To talk about new hope in New York, that the beginning of the end of this pandemic is almost here.
Earlier today, Governor Cuomo said the first vaccine doses could arrive in the state in less than 2 weeks. Now, this does come as hospitalizations have surged across the state over the last 3 weeks. In our area, Long Island is seeing the largest spike at more than 210%. Counties north of the city are up nearly 150%, and the 5 boroughs are up 120%. All of this as we're just days from schools reopening in the city, but there's still a lot of questions about how that's going to happen. News 4's Andrew Siff has been looking into it. He's standing by live in Kips Bay. Andrew?
Right, David, right behind me inside the city's newest pandemic response lab that will be processing upwards of 20,000 COVID tests per day. That's significant because a lot of those tests have to do with the kids who are going to be tested when they go back to school. It's a requirement. More on that in a moment. But first, you mentioned the vaccine. Today, the governor confirmed that the first doses of that vaccine will arrive in New York by December 15th. For the first time, Governor Cuomo put a date and number of doses on the vaccine shipment headed to New York.
The first vaccine delivery to New York will be 170,000.
The plan for those initial vaccines to administer them to nursing home patients, staff members, doctors and nurses.
My goal is to have the fastest, most effective vaccination program in the United States.
The expectation that vaccines will soon be here just as a COVID spike continues nationwide and here in New York, and on the cusp of tens of thousands of New York City school kids going back to school on Monday. The mayor now says he wants every elementary school to offer 5 days a week of in-classroom learning. But News 4 has seen multiple messages from school principals indicating otherwise. This note to parents from PS 20 in Brooklyn. The principal writes there are no plans to phase out blended learning at PS 20, and there are no plans for students to return to 5-day per week full-time in-person learning at this time. Can you quantify at this point how many schools are going to go to 5-day and whether it's realistic for parents to expect that to actually happen?
I don't know what individual principals have said, but we are going to make sure that everyone's working from the same playbook here, Andrew. This is the decision of where we're going. Clearly, most schools can get there.
The mayor would not put a number on it today in terms of how many of the city's 1,800 school buildings will be open on Monday for 5 days a week classes. He did say they're going to take some pretty good attendance next week about how many kids are officially enrolled in in-person learning. Live in Kips Bay, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
All right, Andrew, thanks for the latest this afternoon. If you celebrated Thanksgiving with loved ones, the government is warning you you might have COVID-19. Listen to this report from the White House Coronavirus Task Force saying that all Americans under 40 should assume they became infected if Thanksgiving gatherings involved anybody outside of their immediate families. Also, older adults or anyone with underlying health conditions are being told they shouldn't enter any indoor public spaces where anyone is unmasked.
There are concerns in New Jersey that hospitals will soon be overwhelmed as the number of hospitalizations continues to rise. 3,287 COVID patients are in the hospital. That's 173 more than yesterday. There are 56 more COVID-related deaths. As of Saturday, the positivity rate is 13.68%, and Governor Murphy expressed his frustration over this photo from the outdoor bar at Portobello in Oakland last Wednesday.
Outlier owners who think the rules apply to others but not to them, and who don't support the values of their communities, give the good and hard-working restaurateurs, again of which there are thousands across our state, a black eye.
As the numbers of cases has increased statewide, some areas have become hotspots. 246 schools have now moved to all remote learning.
We have some breaking news that just came in this afternoon. The United Airlines New York City half marathon has been canceled yet again. That race was canceled in March when the pandemic started. Now the 2021 race is canceled as well, but anybody who signed up can either get a full refund or you can defer to 2022.